From Oscar Steakhouse, inside the Plaza Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, you're on the corner of Main Street. Welcome to the only podcast produced by and recorded in a Las Vegas hotel casino. From gaming to dining to entertainment to sports to Vegas history, this is the place to be for the inside scoop, because this is the place to be downtown. Now, here's Plaza CEO Jonathan Jossel.
We are here from Plaza Hotel on the corner of Main Street. Little different setting here, little somber mood. We've been gone for a couple of weeks. We haven't done a podcast for a while.
Right.
Partly traveling, partly Thanksgiving, and then of course, last week we had the very sad news that Aquarius Q Wilkinson, our casino host here at the Plaza, had passed away. It was last Wednesday, and so we wanted to do a little cheers, a little toast to him, and re-release his episode.
Yeah, so we're going to re-release the original episode that was recorded in April of 2021. That was pretty much when he came on board post-COVID. Talk about his beginnings.
So that episode will introduce Q to those that don't know him.
Right.
But I got to tell you, the way the reaction's been this last 7 days, it feels like everyone knows Q.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had unbelievable outreach from all over the world, fans of his from across the country, wanting to come in to celebrate him.
Casino hosts,
just the way he the industry, downtown community, the way he touched people in a personal nature, the way he got to know our customers, he made everyone feel special. And he joined us just before the pandemic, so 6 years ago. And he always used to introduce himself as sort of my guy who was here, and we built this very special bond. He was always someone I could rely on late at night to be here, and he would always tell the people like how in the pandemic he would come to work, even though we were closed and locked. He would come in and want to be with me and see how he could help or be helpful.
Me and him spent a lot of time in the gym during COVID here at the hotel.
Yeah, so he was with us 6 years at the Plaza. Amazing family, son, his wife Rachel. We think of them, and we're going to miss him greatly. I know this weekend he had customers in house. That was I never had to deal with a situation like this. Yeah. And I just got an email from one of his customers now before coming here and doing this, and the way they said they felt, like they are family here, but that despite the circumstances, everyone took care of them, was able to give them a great experience still, and testament to our team that they powered through. Some of our team were really devastated about this, and rightly so.
Yep.
Just a very sudden shock, a very sudden loss. And we're going to miss him because I'll tell you, hospitality is not easy. And I don't know that you're born with it, but Q got it. I mean, maybe sometimes too much. We had to tell him to stop spending so much time hanging out with people, but
we throttle him back a little bit.
Yeah, well, he had his own drink at Oscar's on the menu, the Q fashion.
Yeah. So it's an old fashioned with Red Bull.
Oh.
So I guess he tried a old fashioned and didn't like the taste of it. So he said, just throw some Red Bull in there, it'll be good. And then he started drinking that as his regular cocktail.
But he knew how to take care of people. He had a smile. He cared for people. He made them feel $1 million. When you were in his presence, you felt good. It's kind of what hospitality is. How do you make people feel? And it's not always rocket science, but it isn't easy. And he got it. Q got it, and we are going to miss him dramatically. So if you didn't know Q, enjoy this episode learning about the life of a great casino host in Las Vegas. And if you did know Q, take some time, reminisce on it with us. And
and we're not one to do a lot of advertising or anything like that, but pinned to this video on our YouTube page, and if we could pin it, I'm not exactly sure, on any of our podcasts, will be there is a GoFundMe out there that the wife had set up, so go down below if you wish to contribute.
Yeah, and we will do a celebration of life as well. A lot of people on social media and emails have asked me how they can support Q or his causes that he was a fan of, and we'll do a celebration of life, and of course the GoFundMe that Rachel, his wife, has done, and his son Alonzo. Anything we can do for them, they'll always be in our hearts. And we're going to miss a good guy from the Plaza. So cheers to Q.
Cheers.
Today, we are going to hear from one of our very own executive casino hosts, Aquarius Wilkinson. Welcome to On the Corner of Main Street.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. It's very, very honored and blessed to be here with you guys, and just feel humbled.
It's kind of a big deal, Q. We call Aquarius Q from this point on.
AKA Q.
AKA Q.
You guys know where I got that nickname?
Where?
Because there's a Q in your name?
Absolutely. The second letter is Q, obviously. And if you call me A, you might think, what's going on, A? What are you doing, A? You might think I was Canadian or something. So I go shift it over to the next letter, and I just go with that, and it's Q for the last 20 years.
Wow, nice. Okay, so tell us about yourself and how you got started in your career.
How did I get started? I started in 1996, a year after college. I went to college for about a year and a half. 1996, started at the Lady Luck in Bettendorf, Iowa, in the arcade on the third floor. And at the age of 19, I'm just watching kids at nighttime and waiting for mom and dad to meet, because it was a 12 o'clock a.m. when they did close. So at 12 a.m., they had to go up to the arcade and get their kids, but sometimes they would be up there about 12:30, and, the tips came in really decent after that, but I didn't call security on them or nothing like that. But I learned a lot, even being in that arcade, about the business and taking care of people and the reward you get, compliment and financially from taking care of people.
So that was a locals casino?
Yeah.
Locals casino? Okay.
Yeah, local casino where I'm from. Did that for 3 months, and after that, I'm like, I got to get out this room, and wanted to advance. I studied criminal justice in college, and I thought, I'm going to be an officer. I'm going to be a police officer one day. So transferred to security, did that for about 8 months. So I was there for about a year, and, had an opportunity in 1997 to open up the Players Island in St. Louis, Missouri, Maryland Heights area, and opened that up as a surveillance officer at 20. I couldn't even be on the casino floor because I was underage.
Did they change the rule for you?
Yeah. They had to go through the gaming commission. Jeff Babinski at the time was the director of surveillance who gave me that opportunity. And I believe when he hired me, before he did not know. He thought I was 21 at that time. And so I think his intentions were well, but he just didn't, and I was in St. Louis when it became a big thing. And I'm like, I'm ready to work. Well, you got to wait about a week or two to get the gaming board. So they had to get the permission from the Missouri Gaming Board to get that pass for me not to be on the casino floor, but still be an employee at the casino.
There's no shot that would happen in Nevada, right?
Can't imagine it. Can't imagine anyone would go through that. No, go through it with even the attempting it.
Yeah, and being in surveillance it was fun. I mean, you work in a dark room with 4 different people, and you might like one of them. 3 of them you might not like, but you still got to work together. And it wasn't for me. It just felt like anytime I got praised is when I wrote up 50 error procedures a week, which, I was averaging about 5 a day at that time. So,
but when you say that, that's your job.
That's my job. Yes.
Right. I mean, that's what you had to do. You were watching games.
Watching table
game
games.
Protection.
Basically, yeah. You had to cage a couple screens, and most of the screens you're watching live gaming, especially the high-limit games. You really got amped up to watch those games, yes.
So then what?
So 96 and 97, I was at home in the arcade working security. 97 and 99, I was in St. Louis, did surveillance. And then I heard about an opportunity in Detroit in 99 to go up there and become a dealer. And they were offering free classes. Guys from New Jersey were teaching these classes, and it was just one of those things where I'm like, you know what? For me to get out this dark room and to be live on the casino floor, I want to be a dealer. I know the games, but I know the procedures, how to deal the games. So within 4 weeks, these guys had us in school for about 8 hours a day. It was like a job, and just taught us, dice and blackjack, the procedures, and they wrote us really well. A guy by the name of
Usually it's the other way around. Usually people deal, then they become a supervisor, then they try to move up to surveillance so they could just watch the games.
Yeah.
You took the opposite approach and wanted to go down to the casino floor and, into the battlefield, so to speak.
Yeah.
What made you want to, to go from the dark room with 4 people to, thousands of people on a daily basis?
Well, watching the live cameras in the dark surveillance room, you can see the energy by the cameras, by the people's vibes, by the way they're moving. And at that time, I'm like, you know what? I want to be a part of that, because I'm sitting next to 3 different people that are just waiting for retirement. And I'm 21 at the time, 22 when I left St. Louis. And I'm like, I want to be a part of that. And I'm missing that in my life. And so after 2 years of surveillance, I'm like, let me out this cage. I want to run.
Wow.
So yeah, it was interesting. So I met some great people, some great people down there in St. Louis. Can't take nothing away from the experience and learning. that aspect of the business of surveillance and, making sure, the casino, protecting casino's assets and making sure, people are following procedures as well.
You've kind of done every part of a casino. You are all about it. You know all about it.
Well, Lisa, that's the interesting thing about being in this business is there's never enough learning. You always learn and always have that open. To be successful, you have to have that open mind to learn because the business is moving forward regardless. So you can sit still and sit in your old ways. But for me personally, I'm like, I want to learn the next new thing. I want to learn,
What was the action like in Detroit? What were you dealing?
Man, Jonathan. So in '99, we went up there. First casino opened in Detroit was the MGM. They turned the old Wonder Bread factory into the casino. So the first 3 months, this is no lie, 24 hours a day, we had nothing but $25 games and up, $100 dice games. We had 8 dice tables in a pit, and I was a dice dealer, and I never seen any $15 or $10 games. I really didn't even know how to do 54 across at that time. I knew 135, 270, 545, 550 across. I knew those.
For anyone listening that has no idea what he's saying, that's the denominations across the felt of a craps table. If you want to bet except for the 7, so you would bet 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
And you want to put equal denominations to get an even payout on those numbers.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what that was. So dealing in that action, man, it was heavy. We had a line out the door the first 3 months with at least 100 people 24 hours a day to get in there. And being the first casino in Detroit ever, because before that opened up, they had to go across the river to Windsor, Canada, to play too. And at that time, you can buy it at Windsor for $100 and get 150 in chips.
Trivia question: how many bets are there on the average craps table, standard craps table?
Ooh, I don't know the exact how many bets, but I know there are over 100 bets on there.
Yeah, and actually it's a silly question because it might vary by layout.
Layouts, sharpshooters, the different options,
different games.
too.
Yeah,
Fire bets. Yes. Yeah. So it was live gaming. It was fun. There's a little rough crowd up there, not the crowd I like to deal to on a daily basis at that time. But
how busy was it? Packed.
Packed. I mean, line out the door at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 8 in the morning for the first 3 months. It was an experience, a great learning experience to really break into business on a $25 or $50 minimum, dice table. It's really unheard of because really when you get into business, you're really dealing in $5 games and $10 games and so forth.
So why did you leave? Why did you come to Vegas?
Vegas was the dream. I lived in a 3,500 square feet loft, downtown Detroit. Vegas was always the dream. We always said, man, if we can survive doing this in Detroit, let's go to Vegas. So in 2001, actually in 2000, we made that plan to throw a big party in our 3,500 square feet loft, charge $10 for guys, women free. We had 8 cakes. And with that money we made from that party, we made $2,000 off that. So that was our first month's rent, first month's deposit. All we needed was gas money to move out there. And we didn't bring anything but clothes. So we moved out here.
Who's we?
Justin and Gino and Chris.
These are your friends?
Yeah, these are my friends. To this day, we're still buddies.
Okay.
And in 2001, I know those guys since 99. So in 01, we moved to Vegas. One day here, we go to the Sun Coast. One guy goes to New Orleans. All 3 of us, we get hired. And the next day, they told us, do an audition, go down and get your gaming card. That next day, we're working on a live game.
Yeah.
And that was coming from Detroit with $50 and $100 minimums to a $3 game, doing 15 across instead of 1,500 across,
right?
Which betting on every number. But yeah, that was a learning experience. I was there at the Suncoast for a year, learned a lot as far as how Vegas, works a little bit, but not. I'm still learning about how Vegas works, and that's the best.
So you went to the Suncoast.
Went to the Suncoast for a year.
And were you living out there?
Yeah. I lived out there about 5 minutes away on the west side near Summerlin.
Okay.
And did that for about a year, and then the Palms opened up that same year that we moved out, and in 02 I was at the Palms dealing dice from 02 to 08.
You spent 6 years at the Palms.
Yes.
During the heyday as well.
Was that like the peak?
Yeah.
When I started there in 01, they still had one tower. They didn't even start on the Playboy Tower or the condos right behind there. So it was just day one, 1 year after it's open, and it was live. I mean, and our goal.
Did you meet Bronson out there?
I didn't meet Bronson then.
Bronson works with us in marketing.
Yeah, I didn't meet Bronson then. No, I didn't. Or Steve Cry either. I didn't see him.
But you met Ben Affleck?
Delta Ben Affleck. Well, you would.
How did he tip?
Awesome. He was one of those guys where he walked around the dice table. I nodded at him. He nodded at me. Came up and says, "Hey, Aquarius." At the time, I had Q on there. He's like, "Hey, Q, I want to learn this game. I've never learned it before. I mean, I've never played it. Really, I played with friends, but I never got the basics of the odds down or anything." So I'm like, "Get over here, Ben. I got you, man." and we vibe from that because a lot of people, when they meet celebrities, they either freeze up or just treat them like human beings, you know, because that's one thing they really want to be treated like the next human being and not treated like royalty or like Ben Affleck. So yeah, dealt dice to him and taught him how to deal. Dealt to Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, so many different celebrities. Missy Elliott was one of my favorites because she's so shy, and she's so.
This is all at the Palms.
This is all at the Palms. Yes.
Fun. So did you ever come downtown when you were living by the Suncoast or working at the Palms?
No, I didn't. And at that time, it was a stigma at the time about downtown. You know.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, and it was just like, don't go down there, you'll get robbed. And you know, even when I moved out here in 19, I was in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, I wouldn't mind working down there, but I don't want to work down there too long. And I think within 4 months of me working here at the Plaza, and I got hired here in 19 of December, it clicked to me because I would rather deal with, you know, working class people than dealing with what Caesars and Wynn and stuff like that. I love that. I love that about this business is to deal with different type of clientele. And I would rather deal with, you know, a $2,000, $5,000 player than a $20,000 a day player.
So how did you switch to becoming a host?
So back to the story of my lifeline of my career, 2008, got caught up in the party life, moved back home. My son was 8 years old at the time, and I was only seeing him once or twice a year, and it really stuck to me like, I got to be around this kid's life. I got to be that father figure. So I moved out back in 2008. I always got taught to be the loudest guy on the stick. Everybody
loudest guy where?
On the stick in dice.
Oh, okay, yep.
So I was still teaching at the time back at home at Rhythm City at the casino on the riverboats, and I was teaching classes. And Juan Cuevas, he just came up to me one day, and he was a player development manager. He was like, "Aquarius, we got a spot opening up in a couple of weeks for a host. Somebody's leaving. Do you think you'd be interested?" I'm like, "Dude, I've always wanted to be a host. I just never had that clientele or that opportunity." And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stick this opportunity. I'm going to build my clientele. And right there and then, I felt like in 2014, that's when my first
So
job.
what does being a host mean to you?
What being a host means to me is,
I think, you know, when we often talk about this stuff and we have people like you on the show, it's interesting to people to know, like, what does a host do and what does it actually mean to you?
yeah, what does a host do? Basically, we take care of the high clientele revenue. We contact those guests, build those relationships through the telemarketing. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, Jonathan always asks me, "What are you doing?" I'm in the laboratory, man. I'm calling people left and right. And that's the laboratory, if anybody doesn't know, is at my office, which and that's what I call the laboratory because I'm cooking things up. I'm planting seeds. And so basically you cold calls 25, 30 a day, especially during the week, and you try to build that relationship with that guest or find their niche to try to get them back in and increase trips. So basically our job is to take care of those high clienteles, the high client revenue of the casino, keep those people's interest and repeat those trips with those clients.
What's funny is I've heard you on the phones a few times over in your laboratory. he'll get on the phone with somebody and talk to them for 15 minutes.
Right.
And then at the end he'll go, by the way, my name is Aquarius. If you need anything, I'm your host over here at the Plaza. And go through this whole thing. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. You don't know this person? But he'll get into this conversation. I'm like, you've never met this person a day in your life. But
Never
it's
seen him.
just the gift of gab. You have it. You have it, my
Gary.
friend.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. And you know, as a casino host, some people get complacent and lazy, and it's like that's the only way to reach a majority of your clientele is telemarketing. And usually I used to call when I first started hosting in 14, I used to call on the office desk but now I've transitioned that to work cell phone because I'm shooting them a text with my first. We could talk for 15 minutes, Gary. After that, you're not going to probably remember my name or who I work for, but when I shoot you that text, Aquarius Wilkinson, your casino host at the Plaza, then it's stored in your phone, and now you're saving my contact in your phone.
That's a great introduction to what a host does. But why did you then leave Iowa to come back to Vegas?
I've always wanted to come back, Jonathan. I felt like when I left, it was for a reason. And I always wanted to, in the back of my mind, I always wanted to come back and do it right and not get caught up in that party life style. And, I stay active in the gym now, stay active with my wife. We go hiking a lot. And those are the things I didn't have before was that balance home basis, someone to check me when I'm out of line. And believe me, Rachel checks me anytime she gets a chance to. So, and I respect that 100%. And sometimes you need that.
So
okay.
What was your first impression of the Plaza?
My first,
if Jonathan wasn't here, what was your first impression of the Plaza when you came here a few years ago?
when I got here few years ago, I thought it was small. I thought that it was small, but it seemed to me it was something here. It's still something here. I still get excited. I'm excited right now to be in Oscars. And Jonathan knows I'm up here every weekend.
He likes the ribeye.
Awesome food. But it was small. It was welcoming, but it was not flashy. And that's one thing that stuck in my mind. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't, as now the Circa, the old Hard Rock, or the Palms. But now working here, Gary, those things, my vision of this place and my view of the Plaza is much different. I feel like it's more welcoming, more home feel, kind of like the Palms was. The people get it. The first liners get it. And I think that's a reflection from the directors. Directors are reflection from Jonathan. And so, Gary, just like yourself, you're a hotel management director, 25 years in this business, I've never seen a hotel director checking people in, making sure rooms are checked, doing those type of things. They're off on Friday, Saturdays, or Saturday, Sundays. And they come back Monday, 9 to 5, gone at 5. Gary doesn't leave until most of his people are checked in. And that's one thing I take my hat off to the directors and Jonathan for putting people in place like yourself.
Well, that's right. I have no problem hanging out here at 2 o'clock in the mornings for your guests get here and we get them checked in, get everybody taken care of. That's no problem.
Oh, man, yeah. So I really, after working here and getting my hands and knowing the people, the directors and the management staff, and it's like that's a domino effect of what Jonathan started 8 years ago, Jonathan?
Yeah, I guess I got my gaming license 7 years ago, but I've been out here longer than that. But the culture that you're referring to, I think, started about then, 7-8 years ago. I mean, I remember first meeting you, and Esme did your interview, but then I met you afterwards, and I've always been, I wouldn't say reluctant, but sort of cautious of taking hosts from other states because it's tough to prove that their customers will follow them. But I'll give you credit. I think you definitely have a very loyal group of people that love you and that follow you wherever you may go. And it's not many hosts that can say that, because I always say I guess it's a little different for you because the people that are following you are coming out to Vegas. They're not following you from their home state. But I definitely think that there's a lot of people who think their customers follow them, but really they're loyal to a specific property. I think you've done a great job getting people to come here, particularly from your home state or just from people you had prior relationships with. How has that process been for you in terms of trying to convert people to come to downtown Vegas?
To install that trust, just like that stigma downtown had years ago. It's still around, but it's fading away because of those experiences they have when they do come downtown. They get that experience of closeness. They get it to touch by, if you're a $5,000 a weekend player, $10,000, you're going to see one of us. And that's one great thing about our team is we will come out there and introduce ourselves, let you know what we have to offer, and no one's afraid to do that. And I see that, and I like being a part of that.
Right, and that's definitely probably the top 3 pieces of feedback I get about the Plaza in general, which is, you can feel special here at that level, and that someone like yourself will take care of them and give them that experience. I think we talked about it with Steve Sear on the podcast, but down here you're going to get a limo, you're going to get your dinner, you're going to get your room, and on the Strip you may not get that attention. from a guy like yourself. So that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
And I still have clients. They come here. They do a play day. I got one guy coming in next weekend, and he was $1,200 ADT player at home. So I'm assuming he's about that or 15, because they do spend when they travel. They spend a little bit more than a local casino. And I know he's staying on the strip, but I'm so proud and so happy that he did reach out to me. I'm like, all right, you and the wife, you guys want to eat at Oscars at 7? Come down about 3. Do a play date. Come down there, check it out. I'll do a tour for you at the Plaza, introduce you to certain people, and after that experience, I'm 100% of them coming back. I'm batting 100% of them returning, and that's one thing that I love. I love to see increased trips year over year, and that's one of our goals as a casino host is how do you gonna get that person back, and treating them with customer service. You get them in the heart and you get them in the stomach, it's a wrap. We got those ingredients here, and I love it.
You got
Nice.
you got the ingredients. Although I'll tell you this, I did see you on a podcast. I don't know what it was. You were on YouTube with a guest that we let you do something with a couple of weeks ago, and he asked you about the 50-year anniversary, and you were no sizzle. You had no sizzle in your pitch. You had no excitement. I mean, we got to sit you down and get you
Because I think so much is still to be determined. You don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, at that time, and then certain people are invited to certain things.
Wow.
You know, I mean, there's not a lot of people can go to our special parties at Oscars on July 3rd.
Well,
in here,
we'll have to figure that out. But there was very little sizzle. I was like, man, is this the guy that I think? No, but we got to get you more info to get you better up to speed on that 50-year anniversary.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about it now. Once I think one of our briefings, which I take my hat off to you too, Jonathan, and I'm not here to praise the Plaza, is to have a meeting with the CEO every Friday. You know, is unheard of.
What happens at those are host meetings?
Yes.
What happens at those meetings?
We
And
talk
we're
about the
like,
business.
Talk about the events coming up. We talk about getting people there for them, taking care of them.
I used to be in those meetings, and there's some that are obviously about expenses and we're doing this, we're doing that, but other ones are growing, coming up with different ideas and different events that the host may want to work on for future out, and taking a look at who's arriving, making sure all the T's are crossed.
Rooms
I's
are
dotted.
inspected. The hosts are the front line as well. They hear the most honest feedback. So they hear from a customer when things aren't perfect. And I like things to be perfect. So then that gets into that conversation, and we get into that. But I think they hear the most honest feedback, which is why they're important. They're the front, similar to the front desk. They're that front line, that first impression. They greet the people under the dome. They open the limo door to let them out and say welcome, have their rooms ready for them, their keys ready for them. And anything that goes on from that point on, it's up to them to make sure that it's perfect.
Yeah, it is. It is. That experience is something that I really thrive off of. I mean, one of my greatest compliments is someone lost a lot of money one weekend, and all they're talking about is their experience that they went through that weekend. They're not talking about the loss. They're talking
So they
about
still had a good time?
they had a great time. I mean, I had a client, here a couple weeks ago. She had it was her anniversary. Her brother was with. We treated him good, had a great dinner, and all she was talking about did not bring up a loss at all. Was the experience that she went through while she was here at that Plaza.
Yeah,
and I can't do this by myself.
blindsided me. I think I know he's talking about. So he had me come up and greet them, and he had asked me if we could send them up on a helicopter as a birthday gift or an anniversary gift. And I said, yeah, of course, let's buy them tickets. So we bought them tickets for a helicopter ride, and there was 4 of them. And so Q takes me over to greet them and say, hi, thanks for being here. So I'm chatting with them, and I'm like, so you guys excited for the helicopter ride? And he starts kicking me.
Oh, no.
It's a surprise.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And he doesn't tell me.
Jonathan.
He didn't tell me. How am I supposed
The
to-
element of surprise. I mean,
What did they say? What did they do?
They were all silent, and the one person was like, what?
Yeah, they did. They all got quiet, and then they're like trying to figure out what the heck did he just say we're going on a helicopter ride? And that element of surprise with your clients is something I always try to think like, what is the other host doing around this area? And I try to. I mean, competitive. I'm competitive with myself, but then again, I'm competitive with the other hosts around me. I want to outdo them. So that's one of my goals, is to be that.
That's awesome that you did that. And so what else? You're planning something special coming up?
Yes, next on Cinco de Mayo weekend, May 1st, my clientele list, I went through my list, and we're having a bags tournament. And I didn't know that the West Coast calls it cornhole, and the Midwest and the East Coast, we call it bags. And so I'm calling people from Arizona. And I'm like, yeah, I want to throw a bags tournament. And they're like, bags
They're
at the
like,
pool.
what?
What do you mean? We're going to be throwing bags in the pool? No. What about cornhole? Then they got it. And so my concept was to come up with something on property and use your property to enhance your client's experience. And that's a soft cost. You don't have to go hard cost to submit that great experience for a client. We got the tools, we got the property, and we got the land here to wow them out. And I think that doing a bags tournament during the day on May 1st is one of those things that people are going to remember that. Go home, tell that story to their friends, because, clients, they hang out with gamblers. And some of my biggest referrals from other players are from players. So
that was the other comment with Steve Sear, where he said, if I need players, I'll call my other players and say, hey, my boss is pressuring me, get me some players, and tell them to tell their players. And that's a great piece of advice as well, because players hang around with players.
Yeah, they all talk. They talk about their winnings, but they will talk about more of their experience than anything else.
And I'm sure some of the people probably don't even know what you invited them to this day, right? They're like, yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to hang out with Aquarius and a bunch of other people that Aquarius associates himself with, and I'm going to go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
Right? So all you did was sell them an experience, and they'll throw a couple bags and have a good time.
Exactly.
Right? So.
Yeah, and that's the highlight of my weekends here is that experience that the guests go through, and they tell me right away, I cannot wait to come back.
What's your schedule like? What days do you work?
Off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I am here from 3 to midnight, and I'm usually telemarketing from 3 to 8. One of my, we all have 24 hours in a day, but I always try to set that time apart from being on the floor, because once they're here, they're here. You can check up on them, but there's not much conversations that need to be had, especially on the casino floor. That's why on the weekends, I always make that trip up to make that conversation with that guest, and then fill them out of what their experiences are, and try to, better that, or, build that relationship at their dinner table. I will go up to their dinner, and they already know who I am, and say to me like, hey, you guys enjoying yourselves? And that's more appreciated than me seeing them on the floor, Now,
yeah, sure. 5 days a week, you're here on property, but 7 days a week, I'm seeing pictures and different, you're getting tagged in different Facebook groups and social media events and pictures and everything else. So how do you stay so active on social media? Is that something that you're asking them to do for you, or is it just organically they're posting pictures and events, and I see you on my Facebook feed, I'm not kidding you, at least once a week.
Well, and that's one thing about it, and being on social media and posting those type of pictures, I always get the client's permission before I do that, and 98% of them they don't mind, but there's a 2% that do mind, and I respect that too as well, and I let them know that, hey, and they love it, they love the feedback, and it's just it's like once you get involved in that, it keeps coming back. Let's get a picture, Aquarius. We're at the Plaza. Let's get it. Let's go. And it's one of those things that is started mostly here at the Plaza. Because back at home, you didn't have that structure of, hey, I'm going to post a picture of me in Bettendorf, Iowa with my clients. This is a...
Did you just say one of your clients' real names?
No, that's the name of the place.
No, Bettendorf, Iowa is where I used to.
Okay.
I won't do that, Jonathan. That'd be a cut in that.
I don't want anyone going after our customers when you're saying their names online.
No, none of that. And so it's been Gary. It's been a experience, a nice experience. Sometimes you get shut down in some of these websites, and some people will say something negative, but I always keep in mind that somebody's talking negative. They're thinking about you. Either A, they're jealous they're not here, or B, they're still thinking about you. So
yeah, I think social media is such a game changer for hosts. It's such a wonderful opportunity for you to meet people, and then you sort of segue from that into whether it's this weekend with our TikTok audience, or what we do with Brian Christopher at BC Slots.
Oh yeah,
that whole opportunity of meeting people through social media and then engaging with them. It's been wonderful for me. I'm sure for you it's the same thing. And you need to get a Twitter account, I think.
Yeah, I need to step up my game and get the
can't drive you crazy full time. But yes, it's a wonderful opportunity.
So what were your thoughts of what would happen when Las Vegas shut down for when like COVID?
You'd only been with us for 3 months, right?
3 months, man. 3 months. And in December of 2019, I was here. Privileged to work here and very excited.
We had the best January, February we'd ever had.
And then March happens, March 17th, and I'm like, oh, no. So Jonathan comes in the office, and unfortunately, we got these bad news. We got to close on Thursday. Was it a Thursday? Tuesday. And I'm like, dang, St. Patty's Day, man.
March Madness.
March Madness is here. I'm still trying to get my grounds here at the Plaza. And do you want to go? He asked us. He's like, do you want to go part-time or you want to come? I'm staying here, man. I'm not going part-time. I'm going to go crazy if I go home. Gary and I were working out together for about 3 months, seeing him down there in the gym, every other day. And it was, in my mind, Lisa, it was like scary at one point, but then again, it was an excitement, especially when June 4th came, because I'm like, okay, now I get to push forward. Now I have these dates to look forward to. And it's still going on today because now we're looking forward to June 1st, and hopefully we're
to be 100% capacity.
Hopefully we are.
I also think it's, forgetting the fact how difficult the last 12 months was, I think if you just fast forward to where we are the last 10 weeks, as a host, it's got to be exciting to see the level of business here, the way people are enjoying Vegas, the way people want to get out here and gamble. We've been able to do Super Bingo, we've been able to have Super Bowl, March Madness. I mentioned BC slots, but you're seeing excitement and I guess, for lack of a better word, pent-up demand that's giving you an opportunity to meet a ton of new people. Plus, you got the new casino across the street bringing new bodies downtown. And I think downtown recovered maybe quicker than some other areas, so we've had a lot more traffic down here. And as a host, you got to be excited by that.
Very excited, Jonathan. Anytime I see people, seats are full on the weekends, and people in here, it's an excitement that can't be described. I mean, the energy level, you feed off that energy as a host, especially when you have the energy of people having fun. You go in the pit, every table's packed, and in the slot area, most of the machines are busy, and people just having a good time, feeling the vibe out at the Plaza. It's priceless.
Awesome. It is way more exciting and more of a vibe when there's people having fun.
Yes.
And I know, Q, we're only getting to the 100% if we get everyone vaccinated.
Well, going in April the 20th, next Tuesday, boss, I will be there, scared of the needle.
Oh, gosh.
But, and I was talking to some coworkers last night about it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm with you. I understand how you feel. But for us, this is something that's going to become needed to do in this city, that all employees will get vaccinated.
So where do you see the Plaza headed over the next 5 years?
I love our arena, our core arena back here. We have a lot of space back there. I really would like to see more entertainment, live entertainment, especially on slow months like the summertime. And you don't have to get a big act out there to make it live. All you need is an act that has a lot of followers. But it doesn't cost, you can get a $10,000 act out there and double the amount of people in the middle of August in your hotel, and traffic would be there. I think that space out there, what we used to do is have Rip Fest and Blues Fest and festivals. I think that space out there is a lot of space that we can be utilized for a profit.
And once the Greyhound area is redeveloped and, everything starts to really come together, I think there'll be definitely a growth opportunity for, pretty much the whole south side of Bridger.
Yeah.
Well, then I think you're skipping on one thing, though, Q, which you know about a little bit, and we're going to start sharing more about on this podcast hopefully soon. But we're going to open 2 new bars here that'll give you, as a host, something that, when Oscars is closed, a place to go between 11 and 2 a.m. where you can hang out, drink, and entertain your clients, which I think is something the Plaza's been missing for a decade at this point.
Yes. I think that would be a great attraction. I mean, to keep people on your property, in your casino, and have them different avenues and different areas to go to be entertained is crucial. I really do. I think it's going to be great.
Lots of good stuff to come.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the corner of Main Street. You can reach out to Aquarius and all of our other hosts by emailing casinohosts@plazahotelcasino.com. We'll be back again soon, but in the meantime, please rate, review, and subscribe. Tell your friends about On the Corner of Main Street. And of course, follow us on social. On Twitter and Instagram, it's @PlazaPod, and on Facebook, find us @Plaza Podcast. Or go right to the top and tweet Jonathan at Jonathan Jossel.
We'll see you guys next time from right here on the corner of Main Street at the Plaza, the only place to be downtown.